For the normal overhead pattern, proceeding up initial, go ahead and compute your final and final turn speeds. At this time, you should be able to assess any wind corrections that you may need once you roll out on inside downwind. For the break point, you can use the opposite runway or the Taj Mahal as a reference to determine 0 to 3,000 feet down the runway. For the break, a general technique is to leave the power where it is and pull the airspeed down and reduce your airspeed to 220 knots once you roll out on inside downwind. You can also reduce the power to further expedite this slowing down to 220 knots. Ideally, you pull to your desired spacing based on your fuel weight and crosswinds for the day. In this example, there are some significant crosswinds as noted by the MDP. The curved road in front of you is typically where you would perch for a no-flap spacing. As you start to slow down below 220, go ahead and configure and put the flaps down. 10 knots prior to your final turn speed, add power up to about 95% to maintain level flight. You should then be looking over your shoulder at the runway and perch 45 degrees off of that. Roll to 45 degrees of bank, reduce the power to approximately 88%, and let the nose fall to the desired 8 degrees nose low. Halfway around the final turn, you should be 1,850 feet. As you start to roll out on final, you should start to see a 3-degree wire, and as you go below 30 degrees of bank, you can start to slow down to final speed. You will need to reduce the power to approximately 70% to start slowing down. From this point on, you need to focus on aim point and airspeed. As you approach final speed, increase your power to maintain your aim point and your airspeed and start the crack, shift, drive, idle, flare to land the aircraft. Once you've touched down, hold the gun cross at 7 degrees and apply any appropriate crosswind procedures until you lift off again at green speed. Once safely airborne, clean up the aircraft and start to accelerate to 240 knots for the closed pull-up.